Hi everybody, good to see you. Adriana Barros, certified BodyTalk practitioner. And for those who don't know me, I've been practicing the BodyTalk system for about 8 years, and I've done lately a series of videos on tapping the cortices, which is the main technique in BodyTalk. So for those who haven't heard of BodyTalk before, BodyTalk is a holistic healthcare system that is designed to bring balance into mind, body, and spirit. It is also considered consciousness-based medicine because it does consult the body as to what it needs in order to heal. Nothing is imposed onto the body, and the body is really listened to in order to address its own imbalances. So as a trained BodyTalk practitioner, I am trained to know where the areas of imbalances in the body-mind are, and by asking a list of questions based on this protocol chart that I have behind me, it will allow me to find out those areas of imbalance. And by inducing the body to heal itself, it is possible because of the body's natural intelligence, that which is the innate wisdom that allows the body to do its job, to let the body free to heal itself naturally, because it does know how. It just gets confused, and this process gets compromised when the body is under an overload of stress. So it's also important to mention that there's only healing if the body is in a rested mode, if the body is relaxed. So there's the sympathetic mode where the body is on the fight and flight mode. It's really responding to its stressors. And there is the parasympathetic mode, where the body is rested, and where there's no stress, and where the immune system is functioning in a good rate, at a good rate. And for that matter, it's possible to let the body run its course into knowing what is good for it or not. So the body will pick up the pace, the body will heal itself naturally, as it naturally knows. But when it's under stress, then it's just difficult for the body to promote its functions, to perform its functions. And that's what we do in BodyTalk. And it's also important to remember that the body is not only made of physical matter. There's also the energy bodies that are inside our bodies, and that really allow us to function as we do. So we have the meridians, we have the Wei Qi, and we have the chakras. All those energy bodies are extremely important to our health, and they need to be functioning in a way that doesn't suffer interference from the external. So they'll have to be intact. The same as with our physical body needs to be intact without suffering interference from the external around their body, in order for us to be healthy. So BodyTalk pretty much does its job by making all the bodies, the physical body and the energy bodies, live together, but without interfering with each other. And that's the whole purpose of receiving a BodyTalk session, and that's how we are healthy when our stress levels are very low or inexistent. Because when we are under stress, there's no healing that takes place. So it's the body fighting all the information, the overload of information, by dealing with stressful situations, and really having that communication internally within the different systems of the body and the brain interrupted. And when that communication doesn't exist, or it's very slow to the point that it's very compromised, then that's when we get sick. So it's pretty important to pay attention to those factors. And today I am proposing an immune system group healing session. So I'd like to really address, not only because of the pandemic, but in general, this time of the year where we have the flu season, it's really about making sure that there are factors that have been addressed in order to promote this immune system health. And BodyTalk can do that. So I am proposing a remote group healing session, meaning there's nobody here in front of me other than through the camera. And this is only possible due to the quantum physics principle in BodyTalk, which is the principle that really states that we are all connected, that we are all one, not only externally but internally. Everything internally inside our bodies is also connected. And that's why we cannot separate anything in our body in order to treat them separately and look at them isolated. Because every single part inside our body, every single cell, system, tissue, everything, every vein, every blood cell, everything is connected, and all of them depend on each other in order to be healthy, in order to function. So if we were to look at them isolated and treat every single body part as independent parts, as Western medicine does, we are not promoting any health. We are not addressing the cause, the root cause of that imbalance. And that's exactly what we do in BodyTalk. We look for the root cause. We look for what is that happened in that individual's life, along their life, that made that communication to break. So that interruption happened at some point where there was a trauma, there was an accident, there was a loss of somebody in their life, anything that could have happened, a loss of a job. And if we don't address all those factors, and if you just let them be, they'll be pretty much stored in the subconscious mind, and they'll be left alone in there until we get in touch with them again. And when we do, usually that memory comes on with a charge. And if there is a charge, that means that that matter hasn't been resolved. And that's what we do in BodyTalk. We want to clear those memories. We want to make sure that there's nothing negative stored in our body mind, and not even in the memories of our cells, because everything that happens in our life regarding our health or not is stored in every cell of our body. So every cell has the blueprint of our whole body. So everything changes. And in BodyTalk, when we receive a session, everything starts changing on a cellular and quantum levels. So this internal change is going to be so profound that will be stored on the memory of each cell. And that's why it is very important to have this type of work done, so we can really clear things that other medicines haven't been able to. And when we do a deep work like we do in BodyTalk, it's really amazing to see the process, the transformation process, and how deep we can go, how many issues can be addressed and at their root. And the beauty of it is that we are saving ourselves from becoming ill in the future. We are really breaking that pattern of expecting diseases to happen in our lifetime, just because we know that when we reach a certain age, we are more prone to develop certain diseases. And so there's another way to look at things. We don't have to just be at mercy of time and environment and wait for things to happen to us. We can break that cycle, and we can really make our body choose healthy instead of unhealthy. And this is pretty much connected to the immune system. So the immune system really is connected to, number one, to our digestive system. So everything that happens in our digestion can affect our immune system. So pretty much our food choices, number one, choose a plant-based diet in order for us to decrease the number of toxins ingested and to have that good bacteria into our microbiome. So versus choosing an animal-based diet. Number two, really cutting out toxins, not only from food that we can find in the non-plant based diet, which would be if you eat meat, for example, or if you smoke, drink alcohol. So try and cut down those toxins. And also, if you really dealing with chronic stress, for example, and if your sleep pattern is not good, if you don't sleep enough, or if your sleep pattern is interrupted, or if you've been battling infections. So all those can contribute to weaken your immune system. So by addressing all these factors, and by actually knowing that everybody's fighting in order to have a healthy immune system these days, that's why I decided to come on and address those issues. But of course, we all have to do our part, right? So good diet, lots of water, alcohol and smoking to the minimum or none, in order for us to start developing good habits, and also good nutrition, right? Start changing our eating patterns, eating more healthy, loads of fruits and vegetables each day is the best way to go. Now, for those who don't know much how BodyTalk works, so what I'm proposing here is, by doing this session and addressing the immune system, so everybody who connects with this theme will be able to receive the benefits of this session. So all you have to do is, when you listen to this video and or watch this video, is to really connect, think about receiving the benefits, because group sessions work like this. When we have like the energy of a group of people thinking about what they want to achieve and putting that energy towards that, that's how this work becomes stronger. We magnify the results of a session like this. So because of quantum physics, it is a possible process. So it's possible to achieve people who are not in front of me. So when I do BodyTalk sessions on my clients, I can do those sessions hands-on, or I can do them remotely, as I'm doing them right now, like today, as I'm doing it right now. So and if I do sessions on animals, for example, I don't usually touch the animal. It's either the surrogate or the caregiver of that animal will come in person, or I can just do a remote session altogether on the animal, and they receive the session, the benefits of the session, the same way. Okay, and that's exactly how you will be receiving the benefits of the sessions today. So basically, what I'll be doing right now is to write down everything that will come up in the session. So I'll be asking a series of yes and no questions based on this protocol chart that you see behind me, and that will give me the tools to start building that formula, which will be picking up energy from all of you. And then once I have that formula in place, all we have to do is tap that formula onto the three brains, which is the head, the heart, and the enteric brain. And then the body starts changing accordingly from that point on, meaning that everything is going to be changing and adjusting in the body on the cellular and quantum levels, okay? And naturally, which is the most important thing about BodyTalk. Okay, so Once I have that formula, then all I have to do is I'll let you know when it's time to tap, and you can be seated to do the receive the session, or you can be lying down. I just don't recommend that you're driving while you're receiving a body talk session. Make sure you're relaxed on a receiving mode with no interruption, so you can enjoy the experience better. Okie doke. I'll connect with each of you before, and I'll see where that will take me regarding my concentration and whatever perception from that session, from this connection that I'll have. I will put it out. I'll let you know. I'll be taking notes while I do the session, and then I'll let you know everything that's coming up. Okie doke. So take deep breaths. And for those who know me, know that I usually yawn when I do body talk sessions, and so which is a signal to actually let me know that change is already happening. So just by connecting with the theme, I start yawning already. So just be mindful of that, but that doesn't mean nothing for you. Like, just, let's go with the flow, that's all. I'm seeing and hearing like pool of water, a pool of water, and then I see people walk in a very shallow pool of water. Which looks like to be at summertime. Like when you go to parks and you have playgrounds, and usually there's that the fountain, and so people start walking there. They roll up their pants with and then they're walking with their kids, and they have water high up to their ankle height. That's what I'm seeing. I'm getting this idea that our immune system starts breaking down in the summertime. That's why it looks like what I'm looking at, it took place in the summertime, but our immune system really starts getting depleted towards the end of summer. I'm also seeing somebody sitting down on my treatment table, and the black color or black light over the head, which I can look up and see what that black color represents. Just bear with me 1 second here. So black is a color of protection. Protection, strength. So yeah, it's strengthening the body. And I see also yellow on the abdomen. And yellow, so the healing properties of the yellow color are, sorry, okay, so it helps to repair damaged cells. It purifies the blood, removes waste products, stimulates the lymphatic system. So mind you that I saw it on the abdomen area, so really clearing the microbiome and clearing toxins from there as well, from foods, from ingestion of not very good foods, which can weaken our immune system and make us prone to catching viruses. Yeah, so that's pretty much what came up. So so let's jump into the session. So the first thing that came up is circulation, nerve supply. So from the brain now, from the lymphatic system into the circulatory system. So bringing that circulation from the circulatory system of the whole body. And the emotion coming up with that is grief. No details for grief. So grief coming up again as something external coming, affecting us in our environment. And this grief is connected to many people dying from the coronavirus. Next up is the cellular repair. So in BodyTalk, we are able to repair on a cellular level any condition. And this is an acquired condition. So that means we were not born with this condition, so we picked it up. We developed it. Which is the coronavirus. Next up is again something else affecting us in our environment, which is money. And the money factor that is affecting us is the not being able to make money due to the coronavirus. Either because you have a business, so your business had to shut down, or is not making, you know, the same amount of money as before, or because you've lost your job, right? For those who were employed and had to lose their job, or are still working but making less money than before, had their hours cut down, all that. And what's coming up now is the musculoskeletal group. So in BodyTalk, we can also balance all the bones in the body, the musculoskeletal system completely. And usually the musculoskeletal system comes in pairs, in reciprocal pairs. So there are groups, and within each group, different groups of reciprocal points. So our whole body has reciprocal points. So the top is reciprocal to the bottom, the left side to the right to the left, the front to the back, the back to the front, and so on and so forth. Let me see, there are three groups, but I'm looking into which group it is. So the second group, so we're working with the TMJ, temporomandibular joint, this one right here, reciprocal to the sacroiliac joint, right behind our butt, like on top, like right into the glute. So we're balancing both sides, okay? Left to right, right to left. So it could be that I'm picking up people who might be experiencing some discomfort in the sciatica, for example, or in the TMJ. So you can be having TMJ syndrome that can be affected by a trauma that you've had to your pelvis, or you might be having issues with your pelvis, where the sciatic nerve, for example, because of a problem with your mouth or with your chewing. It depends, right? So one can affect the other. Another group coming up. Circulation, nerve supply, one more time. Of lymphatics from of the digestive system. So yes, we're working on that circulation from the digestive system. So what's next is Emotion. It's a paranoia, which is a state of emotion that we have been living under since this pandemic started. So people have been pretty much living like this paranoia of being afraid of everybody, or just of everything, right? Touching and breathing and so on and so forth. And it's regarding public places. Yeah, so that's causing that paranoia that we've been living under. All right, this is our formula, and we are ready to integrate it into our body. So I invite you to tap along with me if you want. You don't have to, because I'm already doing it. I'm gonna do it for everybody. But if you want, you place your hand on your head, either this way or this way, and you tap the head. With the other hand, you tap the heart and the belly button area, which is the enteric brain. So the head brain, heart brain, and enteric brain. And while you're tapping, you're taking deep breaths, okay? I told you I yawn a lot when I do body talk sessions. That is true. All right. And something else is coming up outside of body talk, and I'll let you know in a minute what it is. Is to actually, for everybody to drink lots of water. There's a lot of time, oftentimes people are dehydrated because they don't. And even though you might drink tons of water, it doesn't mean necessarily that you are hydrated, because oftentimes, even if we drink lots of water, it's impossible to control where that water is going and where it's being absorbed. But in Body Talk, it is possible to find out if there's any dehydration and to hydrate that specific body part. But in this case, I recommend that you drink lots of water for the next 24 hours, and also every day to really help fight the infection. If or the cold, if somebody has gotten the virus, right? Or to prevent really from catching the virus. So yeah, and make sure that you are eating healthy. And for as homework, every time that somebody receives Body Talk sessions, I tell my clients to tap the cortices, which is the main technique in Body Talk. And by tapping the cortices, it is possible to speed up the healing process after a Body Talk session, and not only, but to promote the health, the natural healing process within the body mind, and also to bring the body from that sympathetic mode to the parasympathetic, bringing down the stress levels, promote healing. And so it's pretty much, I'm sorry, my battery is dying. So it's pretty much tapping the cortices to speed up the healing process. Okay, so that's all I had for you. Make sure that you find the cortices technique in my channel. One of the videos or many of the videos in my channel show the BodyTalk cortices technique. And I'll see you soon for the next session. Take care. Bye now.